There are moments in life that divide everything into before and after. For me, that moment came with a single sentence. Beginning. The Hall of Silence. The Hall of Accord was designed to hold peace. At least, that's what they called it. A neutral ground where species that had spent centuries at war could sit across from one another and pretend, just for a few hours, that coexistence was possible. I didn't belong there. Not really. Humans had only recently been invited into the Accord. We were still considered unpredictable, too emotional, too impulsive, too human, which is why I was told, very clearly, observe, do not interfere. I stood at the edge of the massive chamber, watching as delegates from a dozen different civilizations took their places. Some floated, some stood. Some didn't even seem to exist fully in the same dimension. And yet, all of them were tense, because she was there, the Queen, Queen Lyrie. Even before she entered, you could feel her presence, like gravity shifting, like the air itself was preparing. When she finally stepped into the hall, everything stopped, not dramatically, not suddenly, but gradually. Like a wave of silence rolling outward from her. Conversations died. Movement slowed. Even the ambient hum of the station seemed to fade. She didn't rush. Didn't need to. Every step she took carried certainty. Authority. Power. I had read about her. Everyone had. They said her voice alone could end wars. Not metaphorically. Literally. I didn't believe it. Not yet. The warning. Do not react, Commander Zyra whispered beside me. I glanced at her. What? When she speaks, she said, her tone serious. Do not move. Do not speak. Do not resist. I frowned. Resist what? But she didn't answer. Instead, she stepped back, leaving me alone. The assembly begins. The hall filled. Leaders took their positions. Guards lined the walls. And at the center, the Queen stood. Her gaze swept across the chamber. Slow. Deliberate. It felt like she was seeing everything. Everyone. Including me. For a brief moment, her eyes met mine. And something shifted. Not outside. Inside. I looked away quickly. Focus. I muttered to myself. The rising tension. The discussions began as expected. Trade disputes. Territorial conflicts. Political maneuvering. But beneath it all, there was tension. Because no one was really listening. They were waiting. Waiting for her. The sentence. And then, she spoke. Enough. That was it. One word. One sentence. And everything stopped. The silence. It wasn't normal silence. It wasn't just people choosing not to speak. It was something else. Something deeper. Every being in the room froze. Completely. Mid-motion. Mid-breath. Mid-thought. Like time itself had paused. Except me. The only one moving. At first, I didn't realize it. I blinked. Shifted my weight. Looked around. And then it hit me. No one else was moving. Not even blinking. Okay? I whispered. No response. I took a step forward. Still nothing. The entire hall, frozen, except for two people. Me. And her. Niddle, the power no one understood. She turned slowly. Not surprised. Not alarmed. Just curious. You are not affected, she said. Her voice was different now. Quieter. More personal. I swallowed. Yeah, I noticed. She studied me. That same intense gaze from before. Why? She asked. I shrugged. If I knew, I'd tell you. For a moment, there was silence again. But this time, it was just between us. Breaking the illusion. She stepped closer. The frozen figures around us made it feel like we were standing outside of reality. You should not be able to move, she said. And yet here I am, I replied. She stopped a few feet away. You are either immune, she said, or something else entirely. I'm hoping for the first one, I said. That earned the faintest hint of a smile, the truth of her voice. What you are experiencing, she said, is not time manipulation. Then what is it? Authority, she replied. I blinked. That's not how authority works. For your kind, perhaps, she said. But for mine, authority is absolute. I glanced at the frozen delegates. You're controlling them? No, she said. They're responding. Why it didn't work on me. Her gaze sharpened. But you are not. Guess I'm just stubborn, I said. Or resistant, she said. To what? To control. That made me pause. Because she wasn't wrong. A different kind of strength. You do not submit easily, she observed. No, I said. I don't. She nodded slowly. That is rare. Or problematic, I added. That as well. The connection. For a moment, neither of us spoke. Then she did something unexpected. She stepped closer. Closer than before. Close enough that I could feel the faint warmth of her presence. You are not afraid, she said. I met her gaze. I probably should be. But you are not. No, I said. Another pause. Then, good. The shift in power. With a single motion, she raised her hand. And the world moved again. Sound returned. Motion resumed. Time flowed. No one noticed. No one remembered. Except me. The aftermath. The meeting continued as if nothing had happened. But everything had changed. Because now, she knew, and I knew, the private conversation. Later, I was summoned. Alone. The chamber was smaller this time. Quieter. She stood by the window, looking out into space. You resisted me, she said without turning. I didn't try to, I replied. That makes it more significant. I crossed my arms. Am I in trouble? No, she said. A pause. You are of interest. The real reason. Why didn't it work? I asked. She turned. Because you do not recognize my authority, she said. That's not intentional, I said. It does not need to be, she replied. Ending. The one who didn't move. Days passed. But things were different. She watched me more closely. Spoke to me more often. Not as a ruler, but as someone trying to understand. And me? I couldn't forget that moment. The silence. The stillness. The power. And the fact that I was the only one who didn't move. Final moment. One evening, she spoke again. Not to the hall. Not to the council. But to me. Stay, she said softly. And this time, it wasn't a command. It was a choice. And I understood something then. Her power wasn't absolute. Not completely. Because for the first time, she had asked. And I had the freedom to answer. So I did. I will, I said. Because sometimes, the most powerful moment isn't when no one dares to move. It's when someone chooses to stay.